Yo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to the JEL channel. Don't forget that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my uploads. And as always, let's jump right in. Welcome everyone to my first official video on this channel. And for my first video, I really wanted to touch on a topic that I felt was really important and something that has becoming increasingly more common in our society. And this topic is anti-Semitism. And now just a little bit of background about myself. I'm Jewish. I had my bar mitzvah. I've been confirmed. So Judaism is really a big part of my identity and a big part of my life. And sadly, as of recently, there seems to be a lot of hate towards my community. Now, anti-Semitism has always been bad, but speaking from personal experiences, I haven't really faced any until this prior year. In places like school, I've been called a lot of really bad things. I've had people throwing coins at me. People have made really bad jokes about me. And some of my other Jewish friends at other schools, I remember one of my friends telling me a story about someone trying to light his shirt on fire because he was Jewish. And I really haven't heard a lot of people talking about this, and there hasn't really been as much of a effort and standing up for anti-Semitism, in my opinion, which is really one of the key reasons why I started this channel. I really wanted to be a voice that speaks up for my community, and that's what I'm here to do, and that's what I'm going to be doing. Now, let's look at some statistics about anti-Semitism. So this actually supposed to be 0.2%, but 0.2% of the population is Jewish. And even though 0.2% of the population is Jewish people make up 70% of religion-based hate crimes. Keep that in mind. 0.2% of the population, 70% of religion-based hate crimes. 66% of Jewish people now hide the fact that they are Jewish. And over 50% of kids K through 12 report experiencing anti-Semitism in school. Just crazy numbers. 83% of Jewish college students have reported experiencing anti-Semitism on campus. 80% report anti-Semitism as the biggest factor in choosing a college. And 91% of Jewish people who felt safe before 2023 no longer do. And to clarify, the 2023 date, that is when the war in Gaza started. So you can see that that is kind of the start and the more modern rise of anti-Semitism. And yeah, these are just a few statistics about anti-Semitism that this person has compiled. In this website, the ACG, American Jewish Committee, made an article about some statistics dealing with anti-Semitism. And some of these statistics are that 91% of American Jews say they feel less safe as a Jewish person in the United States due to violent attacks in the past year. 78% of American Jews say they feel less safe as a Jewish person in the U.S. More than half, 55% of American Jews say they changed their behavior in the past year out of fear of anti-Semitism. 86% of American Jews say anti-Semitism increased in the U.S. since the Hamas terrorist attacks. Almost one-third, 31% of American Jews say that they have been the personal target of anti-Semitism. Also, 73% of American Jews say that they have experienced anti-Semitism online. 65% of American Jews said that they are concerned that generative AI chatbots such as Grok, ChatGPT, or Claude will spread anti-Semitism. 69% of American Jews said that they are concerned that the information and misinformation shared by generative AI chatbots will lead to anti-Semitic incidents. And more statistics, these are young American Jews' experience with anti-Semitism. You see that, nearly half, 47% of young American Jews say that they were the personal targets of anti-Semitism in the last year, compared to 28% for those aged 30 and over. So a lot more towards young kids. 42% of American Jewish college students report experiencing anti-Semitism during their time on campus. 1 in 4, 25% American Jewish college students say that they have felt or had been excluded from a group or an event on the campus because that they're Jewish. So these statistics really show how bad anti-Semitism has gotten recently and how much it has peaked. So yeah.
We live in a world where hate is normalized, where attacking someone for their religion, their beliefs, and for defending their country is okay. We're trying to unalive someone in the street because they're wearing a Star of David is okay. This should not be our reality, and that is why we do what we do. In no world should you be afraid to bring your child into this world because you don't know what they will be treated like for wearing their Jewish star out in public. Be the light, educate people, and talk about it.
And this is really why I wanted to create my channel and make this video, because as she said, you see that there's all this hate going around, there's all these violent attacks and everything. People are fearful for just, expressing their religion. And I feel that I need to be speaking out about this because too many people are not. And this is why people feel that they can just attack religion, our religion, Judaism. So yeah.
I'm not Jewish, but I'm getting freaked out with the amount of anti-Semitism I'm seeing lately. I'm not even talking about the usual suspects here. I'm not talking about Tucker Carlson or Candace Owens or Hassan Piker or even the First Lady of New York City, for God's sake. Like, I just found out that Kenny Ko, the bodybuilder natty or not guy, is like a straight-up Nazi. And then I saw a video of some random trad wife kneading bread dough and talking about World War II revisionist history.
And this really shows how now, as opposed to in the past, it's really hard to tell at first glance who's anti-Semitic and who's not. Really, anybody can be anti-Semitic now, regardless of political party. And it's a little less black and white than it was in the past. Like, in the past, usually people that were on the right were more anti-Semitic than the ones on the left. But as of recently, there's been a lot more anti-Semitic incidents on the left. And don't get me wrong, I'm on the left for sure. I'm a big progressive. I've always never liked Trump, and I've always been on the left progressive side. But some people that are on the left really are adopting hateful, bigoted ideas about Jews, and it's just getting really bad recently. And I'm gonna tell you, there's this one guy at my school who he's also on the left. He's a liberal and stuff, but one time when I was eating lunch at food, it was Passover, so I was eating matzah and Passover food, and he comes up to me and my friend, we were just eating, and he's just telling us how, like, Jewish food isn't real, it's all just goy slop and just bad stuff. And yeah, it really goes to show how blurred really these lines have become.
And I'd like to think that this is mostly a deranged online thing, except that I've started hearing it from people I know. People on the far right and on the far left. Half of these people are so-called progressives who are adopting a regressive and racist idea. The other half claim to hate identity politics and love America, but they are adopting an inherently identitarian ideology that their grandfathers fought and died to beat. I think a big part of what makes this appealing to people is that the world faces a lot of big, complex challenges, and it feels satisfying to be able to point to one conspiracy theory that explains them all.
Yeah, and scapegoating has really been a very big weapon against the Jewish community. It's always been used in times of desperation and just bad conditions. Like, not as many people are super hateful when they are happy and living good lives. People are always hateful when they're miserable. So it is really sad to see how much the world is in pain, because we are really going through some tough times right now. There's a lot of bad stuff going on. But you just need to remember to stay positive and to never, ever hate on others just for arbitrary, minute differences.
Is anti-Semitic abuse on the rise in schools? I've spoken to parents who have described their children's experiences. In one case, a pupil was surrounded by students giving Nazi salutes during a drama class reenactment, and then the abuse escalated online. The class Snapchat group name was changed to F Israel, Hail Hitler, and pupils recorded voice notes accusing the boy of being a paedophile who thinks he can get away with it because he's a Jew.
And I don't like generalizations. I really hate them. I really think they're bad, and I'll make a whole video in the future about this. But the funny thing about this is, right, if people are generalizing that all Jews are PDF files just because of a certain man, the funny thing about this is that the community that does this at the most highest rate is the community that has the biggest problem with child you-know-what crimes. And it's just so bad. Like, it's the Jewish community. I don't think we have a very low rate of these, child you-know-what crimes. So it's just weird, man.
The pupils at a secondary school in London also spread anti-Semitic tropes that Jews had caused the September 11 terrorist attacks, controlled all of the world's money, and were baby killers. The parents say their son lost trust in his teachers. The family later removed him from the school. Such abuse is routinely experienced by Jewish pupils, according to a report by Parents Against Antisemitism, a group formed to highlight the issue. PAA has compiled more than 100 accounts of anti-Jewish hatred and has sent its dossier to the government's independent review on anti-Semitism in schools and colleges. Its report says that although the majority of reported abuse involved peer-to-peer hostility, many schools simply do not understand either how to deal with such issues or their legal obligations about the impartiality of teaching. In other cases, parents describe daily harassment after October 7th, including chanting, swastikas drawn on walls, and abuse in class. A spokeswoman for the Department of Education described the allegations as horrible and
Yeah, you really got to feel for the, especially American Jewish youth community, because most of us are just innocent kids that we don't have too many opinions. We're not out there doing any bad things in the world, and yet we're experiencing a lot of the hate. And it's just really disheartening as a young person to have to deal with all this. It really leaves a bad impression on how our world is and how people really are. I'm just going to play you one more clip which more talks about anti-Semitism online and the rise of that and really how to identify it.
Welcome to episode 1 of Words You Use When You Hate Jews. First up, goy slop. It's internet slang used to describe low-quality, highly processed food, media, or products that the Jewish elite distribute to non-Jews to keep them unhealthy and submissive.
And I remember the guy I talked about earlier who was talking about how Jewish food wasn't real and all that. Yeah, this was one of the words he used to describe our food. He said goy slop. And it's just funny to me that there are just so many weird conspiracy theories about us. Like, there's not that many of us, and yet there's so many conspiracy theories over nothing. Literally just food.
For example, goy slop alert. Eat up, bros. Goy slop, the place where food controls you. Or, just fill me up with the goy slop. Next up, Zog Chow. Zog stands for Zionist-occupied government, referring to the conspiracy that the Zionists control the government. Zog Chow or Zog Slop is used pretty interchangeably with goy slop. Next we have Goyim. Originating in the Bible, this word means nation or people. In Yiddish, it's been adapted to refer to non-Jews. Its meaning and origins aren't derogatory at all, and all groups of people have a word to describe outsiders. But now, non-Jews have weaponized yet another Jewish term. And professional agitators like Anna Kasparian, Carrie Prigine, and more are self-identifying as goyim to villainize the Jews. They're framing Jews as a collective enemy conspiring against them who non-Jews need to defeat.
And here's an article called How Anti-Semitism Hides Online, Identifying Coded Jew Hatred. And some of these, there's so many different things that people use online when they're referring to us. Stuff like the great noticing, every single time, problematic emojis. Like you see the stuff on here, okay hand sign, whatever this frog thing is. Totally joyful day, our greatest ally numbers. Deadly exchange, early life. There's so much stuff about us on here. Like, they hate us. They're so obsessed with us, and we're such a small percentage of the population. It's just insane how much stuff is on here. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I appreciate everyone who made it this far all the way to the end. And I'm glad I really got to touch up on this topic. I feel like this is something that really needed someone to talk about in a new perspective. So I really hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something new. And just remember, always stand up to hate. If you see any type of hate, including anti-Semitism, please stand up to it. That's the only way stuff like this gets better. And yeah, I don't really have a timeline for when my future videos will be coming out. I'm still in school. I'm doing this all by myself, so it might take me a while to make these. But, this is really fun for me to make. So yeah, thanks for watching.